Yo, how's it going, guys? Rudy TCG back at it again with another video. And today I'm joined here with Ben CRYER, who just got 19th at Hartford Regionals with ZOROARK GARBODOR. His list is currently on the screen right now. And yeah, we're basically going to run through some card choices and take a look at all of his matchups. So if you'd like to start off, would you want to introduce yourself? And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ben CRYER. I don't really have a webcam right now, but it's my first year in Masters, and I have 2 day 2s this year so far. So
All right, cool. So to start it all off, you included the Foul Play ZOROARK in your list. Can you explain this inclusion?
so Foul Play ZOROARK is really good against a lot of random stuff, but it's especially good against Pikarom because the Foul Play plus Choice Band plus Laser can one-shot a Pikarom by copying Taggable GX. And then it's also really good. It was also really good against Celisaur, the 2 times that I played it, because you can copy Pollen Hazard, and confuse them. So it's just like a really good one-price attacker overall.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. And you decided to go with the 2-1 Garbotoxin split. Did you find that was a really good number because you had like the 2 psychic energy and everything, or did you feel like you wanted more psychic energy, or how did it feel throughout the days?
The 2 Trashalanche was really strong. It was like super strong against Archies. It was really good against Pikarom. Super good against the Ray that I hit on stream. And I didn't end up pressing my Toxin at all, but I didn't think it would really matter at any point, so it wasn't really too big of a deal just playing the 1 Toxin.
Yep, and you opted to put in the bench barrier Mr. Mime, obviously for the Wailord, but did you find that it was that useful because they ran Silent Lab, or did you think that it was a waste of a deck slot?
I mainly played the Mr. Mime actually for Pikachu Zekrom, but it didn't end up mattering at all. I beat all the Pikaroms I played and the 1 Archie I played. So Mr. Mime was kind of only there to stop Archies from powering up the thing, the Towering Splash GX, but no, he never hit the Silent Lab at the right time.
All right, yeah, and I see in your list that you only run 1 copy of Bridget. Did you find this to be inconsistent throughout the day when you prized it, or had trouble starting it at the beginning of the game without a Lele? Because I saw some lists were running 2 to increase early game consistency. Did you like the feel of 1, or would you have liked a second?
I prized Bridget 0 times, so
Oh, so you just
every single time I needed a Bridget, I had it.
All right, sounds good to me. And you decided to go with 3 VS Seeker. I heard Alec Geisler talking about it the other day about how you didn't want to see it in the early game, so 3 was the better number. Did you want the 4th ever, or you thought 3 was the most consistent way to go?
3 was fine. 3 was enough. 4 would have been better, but yeah, I mean, there's just like other cards in the deck that you want to be playing in place of the 4th one. So like, if it was like a 65 card deck, then yeah, I'd play 4 VS Seeker.
All right, and did you like one blower, or did you wish that you had others in Garb mirror matches, or just to control the board state of abilities in general?
Yeah, a second blower would have been really helpful throughout the event, but the 1 ended up being fine.
Yep. And the 1 battle compressor, I saw some other lists had 2 for obvious reasons to get rolling in the early game and to clear out some stuff so that you didn't get Toxin into 1 in the late game. Did you find 1 to come up into your hand often enough for it to be useful, or?
Yeah, the compressor, just the 1 was fine. 2 would be really nice actually, but it's just like a live card, and again, there's other cards that you'd rather play than the second compressor, but yeah, the 2 would have been really nice, but 1 was fine.
And the last questionable card of other decks that are Zoroark would be the Oricorio. Did this ever come into play? Did you hit any Night March or Vespiquen or anything that you needed against? Yeah.
No, I used Oricorios 1 time against Pikarom when they had Circuitry and they killed he killed both my Trebushes with Tag Bolt, and then I went Foul Play Laser combo to kill his Pikarom, and then he went into Circuitry, and so I Aura Choreo damage onto the Circuitry and Zoroark to soften them up. But otherwise, I used Aura Choreo. I didn't use Aura Choreo throughout the rest of the tournament.
So do you think you'd end up cutting the Oricorio and Mime for more consistency in the deck, such as like maybe the second blower, the second compressor, or the fourth seeker? Or did you like having them in there just in case you needed them?
I think I'd keep the Mime, but I think the Aura Choreo can definitely go.
And what would be your first card choice if the Oricorio was to go?
Probably fourth VS Seeker, yeah.
Fourth VS Seeker? All
Yeah.
right. So let's take a look at some of your matchups throughout the day. So what did you hit round 1 of the event?
First round was Celisaur. I tied that. And so game 1, I set up really quick. I was able to, I think I had a Ridus beating for 60, which he somehow didn't heal off. And then next turn I went Foul Play Choice Band and copied his GX attack, and he just scooped. In game 2, I couldn't really set up. I didn't get my Bridget. It was a long drawn out game. And then we just didn't have enough time for game 3.
All right. Round 2, what did you end up playing?
I played against Pikarom, which I was a little nervous about, but I lost game 1. Just again didn't really set up. Then games 2 and 3 I set up really well. He had to ditch a bunch of items early game 3, and game 2 I was able to hit the foul play at the right time.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. So far, 2 times that you weren't able to set up. Was consistency ever an issue with this archetype in general?
Those were really the only rounds where I had trouble setting up, to be honest.
Yep, sounds good. Moving on to round 3.
Shock Lock, which was it was a pretty easy matchup for me. At one point he could have had the lock on me, but I red carded him and he didn't draw Devo Spray or AZ, so yeah, that was a really easy matchup.
Yep. Seems pretty straightforward with Garbotoxin. So then round 4, what did you hit?
I hit Lost March.
And did you win or did you lose?
I lost to that one. It was a tough one. His list was like, it was like trainers mails, order pads, bicycles, acrobikes, just every turbo item card you can think of. And he played scoop ups to recycle shamans and Marshadows. He played like compressor to discard eggs and then propagate lost blender them. It was surprisingly good, actually. So.
And he ended up being able to one-shot like Zoroarks?
Yeah, so he plays all 4 Lost Blender because he can draw his like whole deck. So that's 8 Pokemon, and then the 4 Trumbeaks gets you up to 12. Which is a perfect knockout with Natu.
That's pretty crazy. So
yeah.
Did he 2-0 you, or was it like 1-2?
Yeah, he won game 1, I won game 2, and then he won game 3.
Oh, all right. That's interesting. So at this point, you were 2-1-1?
Yeah.
Okay, so what'd you hit round 5?
Oh, it was another Celebi Venusaur, and I 2-0'd him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he played...
Not great of a matchup.
He played Roller Skates. So turn 1, he goes Roller Skates heads, Order Pad heads. I start Shaman, so he doesn't know what I'm playing. He plays down like 10 items in the discard, and I bridge it for like Trubbish, Ditto, Zoroa, and he's like, oops. But he got a double prize penalty in game 1 because I red carded him and he drew 5 instead of 4 on accident.
Oh.
So that kind of helped in that game. But game 2, he just had to play down a ton of items, and I was able to capitalize on that.
Was he the Celebi version or the Wob version?
It was the Wob version.
All right.
It was just more turbo based.
Yep. Then round 6.
It was another Pikarom, which I beat.
You beat it.
He didn't play Sudowoodo, so that helped the matchup a lot. And it was just kind of usual Pikarom matchup stuff. Just foul play laser, swing a trash lynch, prepare your board for a big turn. So.
Yeah, that sounds good. So 4-1-1 at this point?
Yep.
All right, round 7.
Another Pikarom.
Same thing?
Yeah, pretty much just the same thing. Just the matchups just kind of actually in this game, game 3 of this game, I set up 0 ZOROARKs the entire game and won because I was just able to seeker for teammates every single turn to get into. I got into the foul play laser combo and then I swung with 2 trash lynch in a row.
That's pretty impressive. So at this point, 5-1-1. Were you like nervous at this point that you were going to choke the start, or did you really feel good about getting into the day 2?
I felt fine. I've been into 5-1-1 before, and having 2 win-ins feels really good. So
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
yeah.
Yeah, in Denver. Okay, moving on. Him, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so you won the win in straight up right there.
Yeah.
Did you get him 2-0, or was it like a close set?
He beat me game 1 because he went first, didn't have to play a ton of items, and got a big Towering Splash Silent Lab turn. And games 2 and 3, I was kind of game 2. I red card him turn 1, and he whiffs Archies, and I was just able to capitalize from there. He had to play a ton of items to hit into it, and then I just trash lynched for knockout. And then game 3, he hit the Archies, but there was a lot of digging involved. So again, just a lot of items. And then at one point he had to discard the Silent Lab, so there's no longer a threat of a Towering Splash for a game.
Yeah, red card seems super oppressive if you can pull it off turn 1, but obviously that doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
And then round 9, you were just gonna play it out to see if you can get better seeding day 2. Did you win that round or lose?
I lost that round to Hitmonwob. So
yeah, that's a bad matchup.
Yeah, it was against Zach Lesage. So I offer ID at first. He said no. I just like kind of roll over him game 1. I just set up double trash lynch, and he doesn't really get too much going. He didn't draw very well. And then before game 2, he offered ID, and I decided not to take it, which was a mistake. Game 2, I got kind of steamrolled because I went second, and going second in that matchup really sucks. Then game 3, I wasn't really able to get too much setup.
All right, so at this point, you go into day 2 at 6-2-1, which is exactly 19 match points. What seed were you going into the second day?
I believe 34th.
34th. All right. So 34th seed, 6-2-1 going into day 2, and then round 10, what did you hit?
It was a Zorgard mirror. It was like maybe the second time I've ever played the mirror match. So
did you end up taking that one, or
we ended up tying? It was a really, really long game 1. It was like, no, maybe it was like 25-minute game 1, 25-minute game 2, and then we set up for game 3 and time is called, so we just kind of ID'd from there.
All right. Then round 11.
Sablegarb.
Were you able to pull that one out, or did you end up taking the loss?
Yeah, I beat that one.
Can you explain how you beat that matchup? That seems like
I was kind of surprised. The matchup's not on paper. It's not supposed to be great, but all it really comes down to is, does he set up a huge board with multiple toxins? Do I draw it at the ends? And games 1 and 3, I was able to draw it at the ends. So that's kind of how the matchup goes.
And he wasn't able to get rid of all 4 DC.
No, I played special charge. So he at one point he had like 1 or 2 DCs in Lost Zone, but the rest were in deck just from special charging them back in.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. So at this point you are 7-2-2.
7-2-2.
All right. So how many more wins at this point would you need to get into the top 8?
I thought it was gonna be 3 wins, but it ended up I only needed 2 wins and then an ID to make it in the end. But so I was getting pretty close.
So next round was round 12, and what'd you play against?
I was against Rayquaza, and it was on stream. We were the backup stream, but we did end up getting a little bit of stream time, and I was able to win that one.
So 8-2-2 at this point, and all you needed was 1 more win to get in?
Yeah. 1 more win, and I thought I was on the bubble, but I would have been guaranteed at 30 match points based off final standings.
Did your opponent get into the top 8? Because I know you lost that one.
My final round opponent, yeah, he made it.
No,
Who's eighth seed?
this was round 13, right?
Round 12 is when I beat Ray on stream.
Okay, yeah. So for round 13, did your opponent get into top 8?
Yeah, he did.
And what was he playing, and how did those matches go?
It was Isaiah Williams with the DDG ZOROARK list, and I tied him. Again, we were on the backup stream. I was able to take game 1. The matchup didn't really feel that bad, actually, because he can only 2-shot me, and I can either 2-shot or 1-shot him, so I can just kind of play the same game as him, except better.
Yeah, I wasn't really a fan of the parallel build.
Yeah, I'm still not sure how I feel about it. I think it's okay in some scenarios, but I don't know that I would play it over just the full aggression build.
Yeah, I agree. So at this point, you were 8-2-3.
8-2. Yeah, 8-2-3. So one more win and I was in.
One more win would have gotten you into top 8.
Yeah, I would have been 8th seed at 30 points.
All right, and you played against John Ang, right?
Yeah, with Hitmonwob, and I lost that one as well.
Was that a close set, or did you get 2-0'd?
It was a close set. So game 1, he goes first. He applied so much pressure early on. I red card him, and he goes. I think I red carded him. He goes bench Hitmonchan, attach strong to active Hitmonchan, bench Oranguru, Shrine, and Sycamore. So like 5 just perfect cards basically. And then game 2, I red card him into nothing, and he still almost wins the game. Actually, he gets a crazy sledge turn after I whiff Floatstone for like 4 turns for the donk. But I was able to take that game in the end. And then game 3 was really, really close. And there was a turn where it came down to, do I end him from 4 to 2 cards and try to hit DC off an into 4, or do I chorus for 8 cards and try to hit DC and just hope that he somehow doesn't have Guzman hand? And so I end him, and I'm like, did you have it? And he's like, nope. So that was a mistake on my part, but there wasn't really any way of me knowing that. I think in the end, I would still rather end him there.
I think I would rather end him as well, just to give him lower odds of winning.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps it up, and then you finished 19th overall?
Yeah.
All right, how many points did that get you? 60 or 70?
60.
60 points. So what does that put you at on the season?
To be honest, I haven't checked in a while. I think around like 340, 350-ish, something. So still pretty far away, but I mean, it's still doable with internets and medicine.
NAIC can make miracles happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. It was a pleasure having you on the video, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, any shout outs you'd like to give? Last one.
Shout out Arlo Neal, Alec Geisler for being homies. Shout out Gibby and Connor for the busted room. Shout out Brett Burns for the codes.
All right. You heard the man. Yep. See you in the next one.